Hello and welcome, race fans, once again to another Vigilante Racing League race. We are live here at the home of speed. It is Indianapolis Motor Speedway here tonight, and these Xfinity cars are going to have a blast around here as we look forward to continuing on this second half of the season after that great all-star break. But first, let's get things kicked off here tonight with the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, these great Vigilante races are all brought to you by D&D Race Graphics. Go ahead, check them out on Facebook and Trading Paints, and that's graphics spelled Grafix. Ricky Wittenberg does a fantastic job down there painting a lot of these cars, trucks, whatever you have in this iRacing simulator. He does a great job, so be sure to hit him up and go give him a little bit of extra something. Same thing with this real-life business of Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. You can reach Ricky at 423-444-0454. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country, get in contact with Ricky and he can either help you personally or get you in contact with somebody in his network of realtors for an area near you, because this housing market, man, it is absolutely insane. Do not do it alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor. I'm Alan Brown, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Mr. English down there right next to me. Man, Mr. English, we had a great all-star break, but I think things are going to start to really heat up now in this second half of the season.
Yeah, speaking of heating up, you're going to have to get some heat in them tires before you try to make a turn, as we saw Pope go around again under this practice session. Look, last season we came here with the trucks. You have a lot of side force. You got a lot of down force on the rear, a little less power as well. Well, contrast that with this season. We got the Xfinity car, more power, less down force. These guys are going to have a heck of a time trying to get power down when they're coming out of these turns. So look for these guys to really be challenged tonight.
And that they will be, and someone who's keeping an eye on that scrap metal total down there on pit road is Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, I know we've seen a few races here from Indianapolis, and man, that outside wall just seems to snag just about everybody.
Yeah, especially 1 and 3, I think it is. 1 and 4, I don't know. Hell, it'll come up and get you. There's no banking here, which is crazy. At least we're not watching Indianapolis where they turn right. That's terrible. 1 fast repair. 13x incident limit. So if you get 13x, you are out, DQ'd. 70% fuel. 5 sets of tires. This is 80 laps. English, I think, even in Louisiana, that's 200 miles. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
102 degrees on the track right now, so that track is actually pretty warm.
Yeah, that it is. As we take a look at that race info, I'm pressing a button on my computer here, trying to get my lights to turn off. 4 corners that are completely different from anywhere else in the nation. You actually have 4 corners here rather than one turn split up into halves. So be on the lookout for that, and really not that banked, so it's a fairly flat track like you'd maybe see at Martinsville, but otherwise a little bit hot, and yeah, everything looking a-okay down there, bringing us down to that key to the race. And it is very important to find the open space here tonight, especially when those tires start getting worn out after the first 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, the reason for that is this is one of those tracks where it's difficult to pass. Just the nature of it being so narrow, and these are stock cars. You're going to have to use the whole track from the apex of the inside of the turn there all the way to the wall. You're going to have to use every bit of this track. So we might see a couple of guys doing a little weaving on the front stretch and back stretch, trying to break the draft. But I think most of your cars, they're going to be using the whole track in the turns, and then they're going to be up against that outside wall on the long stretches.
Yeah, I think the only place really where you can pass is when somebody makes a mistake in front of you. You know, that's the key. Don't make mistakes, and you should do fairly well here tonight.
As these drivers are starting to head on out there for their qualifying efforts, this very large 2.5 mile track is going to take a minute to get their way around. As we were watching there, Dave Hot Rod Mayberry, I think his new nickname is The Mouth apparently, so we'll have to start saying Dave The Mouth Mayberry. He's out there putting some laps. Same thing with that 753 of Jeremiah Burke. He's starting to turn some laps down there as well. We also have Greg Klein making his first official race debut. We saw him in the Last Chance qualifier and the All-Star race this past week. Looking forward to seeing what that 92 machine can do. Looked pretty speedy there in practice. One of those top 4 or 5 guys. So be on the lookout for the 92 here tonight.
Yeah, he's very, very good at managing those tires. Team Osborne in the house. Ashley joining us, patiently waiting, getting ready to cheer on the number 81. And Albert Anderson's pop. Albert Jr. in here as well. Ready to get this thing started. Folks start to populate the YouTube chat. So welcome, guys.
Good, man. I hope they're going to enjoy it like we will, as always. These guys are real good at what they do. I mean, they are in a new vehicle this year, so we may see a little bit different style here at Indianapolis this go round.
Yes, sirree. As people start to put those times down, Jim Ott by about 1/10 of a second getting that lead spot as of right now. Absolutely flying around there, but of course never count out that 33 of Jess Vaught. He's been on a absolute tear here this season. I mean, basically, I don't think other than one race he's finished outside of the top 5, let alone a podium.
Yep, Stiggs in the house tonight. Adam Strom over there on YouTube said, let's go Greg Klein, our buddy from up in Minnesota. Cheering for our mutual friend down in Oklahoma, Greg Klein.
Greg's going to be pretty good here tonight, I think. If he can keep it straight, he should be fine.
As we continue to kind of go under qualifying here, how about we sit in the cockpit of somebody we know knows how to drive around here? That's going to be the 753 of Timothy Pope, and just kind of watch what he does. He was trying to find that little extra speed out there on track earlier on in practice, and saw him have a few little spins, and especially when you're coming out of 4-man with that inside pit wall, those spins can turn very deadly for your race. As this lap is not going to be a good one for him, because there he goes, just cold tires, and maybe pushing that car just a little too hard for Timothy Pope. Just goes right on for a ride. And I mean, like I said earlier, you can just see how flat these corners are, so getting the power under those rear tires is what's really going to make or break your day.
We saw a little bit of him doing that in practice, but he's just trying to push the limits, trying to get that car to go a little bit harder than it wanted to right there.
Just gotta... Yeah, we got the 221 David Fite putting in some laps here, looking to try to creep up that leaderboard in this second half of the season. Same thing with that 244 Jason Ayrson. I believe we didn't see Ayrson there for a few races at the beginning, but he's now back racing full-time each week with us here, and he's also looking to try to climb up that leaderboard.
Lots of Michiganders in the league. I think we got 5 running tonight at least. Early. I think that's before we had a full field here.
Is that what we call them? Michiganders?
I think that's what they're called.
Never thought about that.
Is it
Well,
Michiganders?
they're gonna
I
have
think
the
so.
real race up there this weekend, I believe, the NASCAR.
Yeah, we've seen a few
Series.
people getting packed up to head that way. I think Greg Dobson in that 285, he's got his car all packed up and ready to go. And I think you commented on a lack of beer in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can declare a certain amount of booze when you're going across the border there, Greg. So I don't know what you got planned, but it's probably cheaper here in America anyway.
It probably is. Timothy Pope looks to make up here for his spin as he's coming through turns 3 and 4 now. Trying to put in a good lap time for his final attempt here at qualifying. Let's see if he gets up that leaderboard pretty good. Yes! And look at that. Timothy Pope from spinning out to first place.
If anybody can do it, he's one that can.
Man, there's a lot going on in the bead laboratory here tonight. I'm gonna have to build myself another setup.
Don't touch my drums. It looks like Edith Anderson joined us, bringing some more of the Anderson fan spirit. Thanks for joining us, Edith.
And it looks like just a couple people not qualifying here. The 211 Chad McCabe has not gone out on track. Same thing with that 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon. I know Jack Dixon has been taking some time off here. I think mainly dealing with his real life racing that he does up there. I believe he recently won one of his last chance qualifiers up there, and I'd like to congratulate our Canadian friend up there.
What does he do? Is it called pure stock racing?
It's either pure stock or bone stock or something. I don't know all the racing terms and all that stuff. All I know is he has a real life ride.
Yeah, and you got to take the American equivalent and then do the metric conversion of the name, and but Michigander and Michiganian are both acceptable demonyms for natives and residents of Michigan. Michigander and Michiganian.
A demonym.
Yes, it's a name for a demographic.
Boy, I tell you what, you drink Coca-Cola all day, and all of a sudden you're a genius. I don't know where you're getting this.
I'm just reading this off of the interweb.
Oh, I can't.
Michigander.
What's the other one?
In there. Michiganian.
A Missionite.
No, not a Missionite. Pay attention. Jack Dixon said it's called bone stock. You were right.
Bone stock. Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, glad to have you back out here, Jack, as we've missed you the last few weeks here, buddy.
Is it on the metric system, though? That's what I want to know. That confuses
most
me.
of the bone stock cars that they're running are newer models anyway. I think nobody's out there running an old IROC Z around there anymore.
Well, it should be.
Edith says Kathleen is in the chat room but cannot comment. Let's see. I don't know if there's something she needs to change on her end to be able to comment.
I wonder if she may not have an account and is just watching, but
Yeah, you have to have a YouTube account. I think it's real easy to set
Or
up.
Google account, yeah.
Yeah.
well, either way, here we go. The field is set, and we're taken to the grid. As let's see if look at that! The pole sitter's actually sitting on the right side now, as we get ready to follow this pace car around and get this race going. Starting things off is at 7:28. Timothy Pope, he won pole position here tonight, and no surprise there. He's going to have a good challenger, though, on his outside in the 205 Jim Ott starting in second. In third, we're going to have the 92 Greg Klein with his teammate there in fourth, right next to him, the 33 of Jess Vaught. 244, Jason Ayerson's going to start here in fifth, with the 51 of Mike Adamson starting in sixth. We're going to have the 753 of Jeremiah Burke starting in seventh, with David Feit in eighth place here, driving that 221. 76 of Jeff Ottinger is going to start in ninth, with Dave Hot Rod the Mouth Mayberry in the 29 machine starting in 10th. Man, that's a long-ass nickname.
81 of Chachi, Jonathan T. Osborne starting in 11th place. The 7 of Russ Kilgore starting in 12th. 13th will be the 72 of Chan the Man, Chandler Paul. Starting his outside is the 3 of Austin Paul. The 222 of Polk Salatoni, Tony Polk starting in 15th place. 16th will be the 2 machine of Albert Anderson. The 285 of Greg Dobson starting in 17th. And just to his outside, the 4 machine of Dion Jones. The 48 of Jack Dixon starting in 19th. And let's see who we got. 211 to Chad McCabe, 21st. Ricky Wittenberg, 22nd. I think there's going to be a couple of EOL penalties at the beginning of this deal, so that order may change here.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even think Ricky is in the session. At least I don't see his name on the live timing. So we'll have to wait and see as these guys drive around this pace car. But yeah, Ricky finally has his new wheel in, and of course it's got so many settings that he's trying to get that thing all set up and figured out here. So one of these days, Ricky, you'll be able to join us.
Yeah, it's kind of like you with your new computer. We're trying to get everything figured out with that thing. It's not easy. So it's new computer software and hardware.
But I do think we finally got everything all figured out here. All the paint schemes look like they're what they're supposed to be here tonight. So glad that got figured out. I know quite a few people were kind of bummed that their scheme that they worked so hard painting wasn't showing up. But here we are getting ready to get to green flag racing here, following that pace car down the backstretch.
Yeah, hopefully, Kathleen, that'll help. What Albert Anderson's telling you to do, go up there and click that top chat, that drop-down menu, or try clicking those little dots off to the side where those guys get away and get logged in there where you can comment. Hope you're able to get that squared away, because we really do enjoy your comments and questions.
Well, here they go, side by side, heading into, who knows, this could be turn 3, this could be turn 4. It'd almost be turn 1 and 2 with how much this track looks similar, but yet the same in each of the corners here. But that pace car comes diving down into pit lane, which means we're ready to get to green flag racing. Timothy Pope, Jim Ott up at front. Enter in that restart zone, and away we go. Man, look at those cars spin those rear tires. We're seeing a little bit of jiggling happen throughout this field as everybody starts to get going here.
Yeah, a couple of cars rear end stepping out right there. You got to make sure to start in the right gear. I believe would be second here, second or third. No, it's got to be second.
Timothy Pope, man, he is sliding it here through turns 1 and 2. He was able to get free and clear on that start, so he is up in the front. Everybody pretty much tucking into single file, which is kind of what we expect to see here for a little while, because it's just going to be that difficult to pass here. I don't know what the kind of arrow push here is like when driving behind some cars, but I can imagine it's probably not that fun, as we do have some passing going on, though. I believe that's the 753 of Jeremiah Burke trying to make a pass on the 244 of Harrison here.
Yeah, I've run some laps here in stock car. That when you're right behind somebody, they just take all the air off of your nose, and you have no front grip at all.
Yeah, Burke's trying to make a move, but it's almost like he's stalled out at the moment here against Harrison.
It's hard to make a pass here. You really need to have a really good run and then dive down at the last second, try to get your nose in there before y'all make it into the turn. I don't see really passing anybody on the outside really being an option here.
No, that's for sure, as Albert Anderson is trying to hold off the 222 of Tony Polk. Tony Polk's been kind of looking towards that inside down these long straightaways as they pick up some runs. As behind him, you got Chandler Paul trying to hold off that 48 of Jack Dixon. Both Cult of Chaos team members here. Looks like maybe some communication underplay there, and Chandler's saying, man, you're just a little bit quicker than me. Let's get you on out of there.
Well, Adam, these guys got, almost 3 whole laps on these tires now, under green. Probably warmed up enough. They're probably starting to feel a little bit better, don't you imagine?
Well, they're going to feel good for about 2 laps, then they're just going to go straight back downhill.
Yeah.
Just the way this track is situated, Tony Polk is making the pass, looks like, or not. Polk and Anderson going out of here.
As Jess Vaught makes his way around the 92, Greg Klein as side by side that 222 and the 2, so we have 4 2s all in one spot. Oh no, as the 285 Greg Dobson scrapes that outside wall coming out of turn number 4. He's going to be a little slow coming down this front straightaway. He's got the, I believe that was the 4 coming up quick on him. So Deion Jones cruises right on by. You also have that 211 of Chad McCabe just kind of trying to survive and make his way around here. David Fite being one of those guys, I believe, had a carryover penalty from earlier on. He's got a lot of ground to make up, but the good news is he's got nobody else in front of him. He can just kind of run his own race here, being so far back, and really not burn his stuff up.
Yeah, you're right. And Dobson, at least, he kind of pancaked the wall when he hit it. The front and rear kind of hit at the same time. He just kind of bounced right off of it. Didn't lose control of the car or anything. So hopefully he doesn't have too much damage.
As we take a look from the rear end here of that 728, Timothy Pope, Jim Ott really not going anywhere. Newcomer, or can't really say newcomer, just a rookie this season for Vigilante. He's done a great job so far this season. I believe he's pretty much in contention, or at least has that first spot for Rookie of the Year. Not that it's an official award here, just kind of something they're going to track. He's definitely got a good lead on that one. You can just see he's getting into these corners pretty nice and smooth. I think he's getting a little bit more of a momentum run coming off of the corners than Timothy Pope.
Shelba Boone joining us, pulling for Team Anderson, as well as Carl Anderson. I think that's Kathy, because it says I finally figured out the chat, go Albert. So I think that's Kathleen using Carl Anderson at the count there. Welcome to all the Team Anderson and Team Osborne and Team Klein folks out there, Team Dixon. Appreciate all of you joining us today. Remember, we're going to have a fan of the race at the end of this deal, so keep those comments and questions coming.
Yeah, that's for money. Or something.
Yes, it is.
This guy's out here racing for money right now tonight.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. This top, really 3 or 4 haven't separated much here. I think we're going to see these guys, for the most part, on at least this first run on these tires and fuel. They're probably going to stay pretty close. It's really going to be the pit strategy game and how well people get on and off pit road here tonight. I think that's going to be one of the biggest plays.
Yeah, definitely not a runaway up front. There is some draft that helps you quite a bit here. So, I mean, as long as these guys stay within a decent distance here, a little side-by-side action between the 33 and the 205 there.
Yeah, it was...
Vaught takes that position from Ott.
Yeah, Vaught does finally takes that position. It took him a few corners there, and that opened up a little bit extra gap to Timothy Pope. So that's the other thing you got to keep your eye on is, man, if you don't get those passes completed early enough, man, people in front of you can get a pretty good head start on you.
And that Carl Anderson, that's Country Boy Anderson out there in YouTube land. So thank you so much for joining us.
There's so many Andersons out there, I don't know what to do.
I'm telling you. They're out full force.
Hit the like, share, subscribe, all that notification thing so you know when Albert is racing, America's driver. And maybe you'll spread the wealth with other people. Maybe they'll find their own driver.
Ooh, it's a 753. Jeremiah Burke might have been curse of the broadcaster there. Switched cameras to him, and he snags the outside wall between turns 1 and 2. He's got a decent amount of right-hand side damage. I don't think it's going to affect him too much right now, but I got a feeling when pit stops come around, he's probably going to get a fast repair here really quick, as he's really fighting a loose car.
Yeah, you can see at the top of the L and Limitless on the hood, that seam that opened up as soon as he touched the wall. You can see that hood buckle a little bit. Definitely not going to do him any favors in the aero department.
Well, the suspension cameras aren't exactly right, so give me a second here.
Well, and you only have one fast repair too, so you got to take that into play here. Definitely don't want to use it up if you don't have to, but it sounds like he's having issues.
Definitely a little bit, as right in front of him, his teammate, the 51, Mike Adamson, has a little bit of an issue there, almost snagging the outside wall, as well as Timothy Pope looking very strong up here at the front. But same with that 33 of Vaught, the 205 of Ott, and the 92 of Greg Klein. Man, try to say those two names together very quickly. Just Vaught and Jim Ott.
Pope, Vaught, Ott, Klein. Pope, Vaught, Ott, Klein. Yeah.
It's pretty tricky.
Interesting.
But it's Ayrson, though, in that 244, he's also having a solid night here, staying up there at the front, really not letting these top 4 guys get away from him too much. And I think everybody being extremely patient here, maybe making the moves when they got them, but really not pushing the issue. As here comes Jonathan Osborne on the 3 of Austin Paul, maybe faking one way to go the other. Both drivers drifting up high on the track, but that's one way to get the pass done for Jonathan Osborne, moving around that 3.
Country Boy Anderson saying so realistic. I think he's talking about your cameras down there looking at the suspension and everything moving. I mean, they really have done a great job with iRacing with rendering these cars and stuff. And it's only going to get better, the new damage models and stuff. I don't think they're on these cars. We're going to be on these cars at least until they get the bugs worked out. You'll be able to see parts flying off of them and stuff here in the near future.
As kind of towards the mid to tail end of the field.
33 got big loose. The 205 had to dodge down on the apron. Sorry, buddy. 205 still loose.
33 started that being loose, hit the wall, came down and snagged. 205 almost snagged it. Jim Ryan. I don't know what else was going on the track there, Brown, but that was pretty intense.
Battles in the back.
Yeah, we were having a little battle between Poke Salatoni and the 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon. That battle is now over with. Jack Dixon finally making that pass. But yeah, it's unfortunately completely missed it. Jess Vaught just breaking those rear end tires loose. And, that's something we normally don't see here at Indianapolis, whether it was the trucks or the Cup cars. We normally saw a tight condition as those cars ran around the track, but I think in these Xfinity cars with all that extra horsepower and really not a lot of downforce, I think loose is really going to be the problem here tonight.
It might get a little bit of both. It's going to be a mixed bag, especially once these tires get really worn in. You're going to see who the guys are that are good at saving tires. Now, this is a track just like, other abrasive old tracks that chew up tires like crazy. So these guys out here really know how to do it.
Yeah, you know something we didn't do, English, we didn't do a fuel run here, so we'll be curious to see how far we can go on a take a fuel, or if the tires are going to wear out before then.
Oh, I'm almost certain the tires are probably going to be wearing out before any of that stuff. As you can see, the gap from Pope has gained as Jess Vaught did get loose there, and so a 2-second lead for Timothy Pope up there at the front. These guys are kind of driving single file. Maybe Jim Ott looking to make the pass back here on Greg Klein to get back up to that rear end of the 33 to maybe try his luck at making the pass there again.
I love that camera on the wall. That just goes to show you how fast these things are actually moving.
I thought Greg was going to give it up there, but he looks like he is now.
He's still fighting. He's still outside the quarter panel there. Still there. He ain't giving up right there.
No, and I mean, we were kind of watching those first few laps. Greg Klein was letting just about everybody by that was coming up on him, and running kind of, I don't want to say a high line, but like a mid to high line. So definitely in a kind of a tire saving mode there for Greg, as he definitely made Jim Ott burn up some extra stuff there to get that pass done.
Not a whole lot of guys out there that are better at saving tires than Greg. I mean, we talked a little bit about it pre-race. You know, he's one of the guys. He's really got a good shot at getting going here. He's pretty new to this league, but he's not new to iRacing. He's been iRacing a long time. In fact, our first league that all of us joined was his old league. So he's out there getting it done in this league tonight.
He's been doing it a long time. Really good. He's just kind of learning these guys out a little bit. He's got his work cut out for him with Pope and Vaught and Ott, and even the Andersons and Adamson. America's driver Albert Anderson, he's not up front tonight, but there's some damn good drivers here.
Yep. Our teammate Burke right there in the mix. Russ Kilgore, one of those guys every week, he's going to come out and pass a ton of cars. So watch that 7 Russ Kilgore.
And I just named a few. I mean, Jonathan Osborne, we got
the Pauls.
People can win on any given race, and this track is a little bit more technical, so it's not easy at all for people that haven't done a lot of work here.
As both Dion Jones and America's driver Albert Anderson make the pass on Poke Salatoni. Poke Salatoni moving backwards through this field. He's now got Greg Dobson coming up on him here. Greg hoping that the thunderstorms and whatnot don't knock out his power here tonight. He's trying to hold up his all-star driver kind of reputation here.
You can see these guys using every bit of the track. I'm watching Greg Klein right now. He goes down below the yellow line. He even gets on the little concrete curb there, and he goes all the way to the outside. He's doing that in every turn.
And the key is just consistently, doing that, and you have to worry about the lift points, brake points. At a track like this, as the tires wear out, it changes all the time. Looks like Ott is trying to make the move on Vaught.
Yeah, he's looking down low here. Looks like he will get that spot. So Jim Ott kind of playing a little merry-go-round here up at the front as Jason Arison finds his way around Greg Klein up at the front as well.
Yeah, Klein started to slide. He looked like he was four-wheel sliding that car coming out of turns 2 and 4. Arison saw it and took advantage. That's what you were talking about, Adam. You got to wait for if you don't think you can get around somebody, just wait. Put a little pressure on them. They'll make a mistake, and you'll be able to take advantage.
That's what happened there. I think Rock may have a little bit of damage too from snagging that wall, but he's got a different paint scheme. Man. It's kind of throwing me off. I'm trying to figure that one out. It's Red Bull paint scheme. I think it is.
Yeah, it's I think the Vigilante Forces
Yep.
coming in with some new paints out there.
Albert Anderson's pop saying, "Good move, Albert. Keep it going."
That's
Moving up a little bit. Back in towards the rear of the pack here.
Yeah,
Everybody's still on the lead lap, so that's good news here. As these guys will hopefully get a chance to get sat back up here after a while.
as we take a look here at one of the Michigan natives up in this top 10, the 76 of Jeff Ottinger, really not making any moves forwards or backwards. Still there in that 9th position. He's riding around right behind that 7 of Russ Kilgore. Russ has done a great job. He's up 4 positions on the day here to find himself in this top 10. But these guys just kind of making laps, trying to keep that car clean and seeing where it puts them at the end of this day.
As these guys continue to click off laps. Let's see here. I just had it pulled up. Don't you hate it when you have something on your screen and then you look back again and it's gone? Let's see. So a little bit different action. Next week we're going to Michigan on that big 2-mile track. That's a lot of these guys love Michigan. Not only is it a home track for a lot of these guys, it's fun to watch. It's fun to race in. It's good and wide, and it's really, really fast. Adam Turner got a couple of wins here, so he knows how to get around this joint.
Ooh.
We're definitely going to be doing some testing. And
As we got a couple cars coming down into pit lane, so I think this is going to start up that pit window here. So quarter of the way through this race, Mike Adamson with a nice easy entrance to that pit road. Mayberry came in a little hot, saw some smoke coming up from locking him up to slow his car down. Same thing with that too of Albert Anderson, but I'm not seeing any black flags out there, so everyone's doing okay as Timothy Pope continues to bust out a lead here, about 4 in a little bit of extra change here of space between himself and Ott, as Ott comes down into pit lane, followed by just about dang near everyone else. Oh! Someone's spinning out there on pit road. Ayrson, that's going to block pit lane here if he's got to get that thing going. Right in front of some other cars coming down. Ooh, boy, everything's tight down there.
he's able to get it refired and get back going. This is one of those pit roads where you got a wall on the right and left, so it does bottleneck. Kind of takes away an escape route if you do have to try to dodge somebody.
Let's take a look. Oh, maybe making the late call. Oh, he also got into the back of, I think that was Jess Vaught there as well. But, man, just not the best of entrances there for Jason Ayrson.
Doing everything he could to get that thing wound up. Hey, Adam, this kind of answers our question, doesn't it? It's going to be a 3-stop race no matter how you slice it, it looks like. Well, he must not be back yet. I know he stepped away for a second.
I guess so. It's dealing with something over there. But Greg Klein coming on down into the pit road, maybe making the right call there. I think he would have been one of the ones to get involved in that wreck with Ayrson on pit road. So nice little call there from Greg. You also have the other Greg out there still driving around on the track, Greg Dobson in that 285. Same thing with the 81 Jonathan Osborne, the 753 Jeremiah Burke, and Timothy Pope out there in that lead. The beautiful thing of the lead that Pope had, up 4 seconds plus, man, he pretty much had all the time to make a decision whether or not when to pit, and he really wasn't losing much time out there on the racetrack either.
No, that's clean air for you. I mean, that's everything here. Kathy finally figured it out. She says she can chat now. She says, let's go, Albert. And Edith Anderson Yes, ma'am. This track here is 2.5 miles per lap. And then next week at Michigan, it's 2 miles per lap. It's a smaller track in distance, but it's a lot faster. Cars dodging each other out there.
It's a great track, too. Michigan's going to be awesome.
As Greg Dobson, I think, is going to get a lap lead here, depending on how many times he goes around here. If he goes around once more, because I don't think he ended up officially leading a lap, as Timothy Pope has a pit box way up towards the front of pit road there. But looking to pick up one of those all-important bonus points. Jonathan Osborne completing his pit stop, as Chad McCabe as well is on his way into do his cycle. So we're just waiting on one driver, and that's that 285 of Dobson.
So in a race like this, where we're likely going to get a mostly green race, I mean, I don't foresee, knocking on wood, any cautions in our near future. Hitting your pit box is extremely important, and getting your speed down so you don't get a penalty is very important here. And pitting under green, if you do get a penalty for speeding, you got to come back down and serve that under green. So, I mean, you have potential to lose a ton of real, several miles of track position by having to come back down.
That is indeed the case, as the gap between first and second is no longer 4 seconds. It is just over a second and a half. So those extra couple laps that Timothy Pope ran did actually hurt him just a little bit. But he does now have 2 laps fresher tires than pretty much everybody else in this field.
Adam, I was trying to think of the country mile we were talking about the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Something's a country mile, it might be 18 miles away.
Or it could be half a mile. You just never know.
Yeah, depends on who you're talking to.
This is definitely a country mile track here. And it's crazy what's, kind of how it always plays out. They got it's so flat here, and just the weirdest corners compared to the other tracks. So just not something these guys are used to seeing.
No, as after all the pit stops, Ayrton, Kilgore, and Ottinger find themselves together racing for position out on track. All of this is for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Ayrton electing not to use a fast repair to fix the damage on his car. He does have a decent amount of front bumper damage there, and that's something at an aero track like Indianapolis. Maybe not want to drive around with that.
Yeah, he's probably just saving it for later just in case, because you really never know here what's going to happen. Albert's pop saying, need a little 3-wide action to shake things up. Oh, man, I hope we don't see him go 3-wide at least until the last lap.
I want to.
Oh, man, there'd be some wadded up cars out
Well,
here.
we may have some anger, too. These guys
It might be exciting, though.
yeah, fights or something. These guys aren't doing any kind of arguing or anything right now. Let's get something going.
As, let's see, we got Greg Klein splitting 2 Limitless Motorsports teammates here. The 51 of Adamson and the 753 of Jeremiah Burke have that 92 kind of sandwich in between. They're putting down some good laps as they're starting to catch up to some lap traffic here. I believe that's the 221 of David Fite. Just trying to hang on here and get a decent finish on the evening. He has made his pit stop as the field has all come on down. So a little bit past that quarter of the way through this race, and the action has been pretty much what we expected. For the most part, pretty tame. Gets exciting at some points, but otherwise things are still a little spread out there, as looks like people trying to get around that 211 of Chad McCabe, trying to hang on. And
Jeremiah Burke is right behind Greg Klein. Is he right behind Adamson there? Yeah.
Yes, he is, and he's getting loose there in the turn.
Good battle for 4, 5, 6.
As here comes that 753 looking down low on Klein. I think Klein maybe overextended turn number 3 just a little bit, which opened the door for that 753. Both drivers going to be side by side as they come down the line. The 51 maybe moving out of the top lane to give that 753 a little bit of extra draft and take that draft away from Greg Klein. Entering turns 1 and 2, sliding on through is that 753.
That was freaking textbook. See, if you do have some drafting help here, you can make some stuff happen. These guys are playing chess, not checkers out there.
Yeah, you tend to see that on the real races here in Indianapolis, so they kind of mimicked it there on the front stretch, and you can do that in the back stretch. And Burks is on a tear right now.
Oh, but here comes that 92 back to attack that 51 of Adamson, who snags that outside wall a little bit. That's going to scrub some speed, and the 92 is going to easily take that position.
Bad news from Ricky. We knew he was having some technical issues, and he said he tried loading into the race tonight. iRacing wouldn't let him rejoin the session, but he'll be back next week. You know, Ricky Whittenberg, big-time league supporter and sponsor, and we love seeing him race. And finally got his new wheel hooked up, and iRacing wouldn't let him join. So
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to turn the thing on once every 3 months, or it's going to get discombobulated, Ricky.
well,
So-
if you call tech support, they're going to say, "Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?"
Turn it off, turn it on.
Sure, he's done
all
that.
that. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see him next week.
Battle for 7th there. I like that little box there. It tells you kind of.
Yeah, these guys have been nose to tail for a good chunk of this stint here. The 76, 244, and the 7. Not really a whole lot of passes being made, but they got to be careful because they have a car stalking them from behind. That's the 81 of Jonathan Osborne.
As you can see right there in that little box, it shows you Osborne. He last pitted on lap 22. So 2 lap fresher tires for Osborne in the 81.
Man, y'all, where's Osborne's? I saw Ashley out there. Let's see if Team Osborne has some more people out there. We're gonna have to have a fan of the race tonight, aren't we?
Yes, indeed. We got some folks out there in the chat. I'm busy watching this race. I know they're typing us all the time.
Why not? I mean, that's more fun. Have good communications with the people watching out there.
As we look to see the rear view there from Jess Vaught, he's got the 753 Jeremiah Burke starting to show some speed here late as things have closed up just a little bit here between Kilgore and Ayerson. I think Ayerson's finally picking up a little bit of that draft. Looking down low on the 7 here, trying to make that pass and cruise on up to 7. Looks like I think the 7 might have just gave him that spot, drifted out wide a little bit, but that 81, Jonathan Osborne making a pass on the 76 now as well. The 76 just kind of fanning on out to the outside of that corner, so the 81 making some moves.
Cue the Jaws theme song. Here comes Osborne. Picking them off.
Yeah, he's pretty good at tracks like this. I think we've seen him do well at here before. He's having a pretty good run tonight. Top 10, up 2, just solid.
And that,
Another. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that Jaws theme song can continue on playing for that 753 as he continues to hunt down that 33 of Jess Vaught, trying to get another Limitless car up there on that podium as Timothy Pope continues to lead here at Indianapolis, up 4 seconds over Jim Ott. Jim Ott's got about a 2-second lead to this battle here for third. Jeremiah Burke, man, he is finding some of that extra pace. He does have 2 laps fresher tires, albeit these guys have already ran about 12 on these things, so it's still just going to be kind of a fight for survival.
Well, eventually the tires kind of level out, I think, before the big fall off starts occurring. But they still got to make it about 18 more laps on this set.
I can't wait to see who gets the rally train tonight. That's kind of my favorite thing to see. Do we still have that thing running, or did it get eaten up by the other computer?
It's eaten up by the other computer, but I don't think we'll have to see these guys go for 18 laps. It's about 7 if they pitted on lap 20, and we're now on lap 33. So I think they're just trying to make it to about that lap 40 mark, about halfway through, before coming on down for that second time.
My terrible math skills at work once again. Speaking of, yeah, when I did the post today, I put the wrong lap count. I was looking at an outdated schedule I had in my hand, and the session had the same, so I thought I was right. I was wrong. It was 80 laps tonight, not 100. I apologize for that error. Louisiana math picked up on it.
It happens. I think everybody forgive you. I mean, I won't, but everybody else should.
Is that
Still ain't forgive me for poking him. Go ahead, Adam.
As that 81 of Osborne still cutting and dicing his way through this field. He's now looking to catch up on to that 244, picking up a lot of that draft. You just saw how quickly he closed that gap to that 244. He's ready to pounce and get his name up there into that top 7.
Huge run, man. Yeah, that draft is really something here. And that's makes it all the more important to take care of your car. Don't get any bodywork damage on that thing.
As here they go, side by side down that back straightaway. They're going to be still too wide, entering turns 3 and 4 here. But that bottom line is the place you want to be. There's really no two ways about it, as he gets the job done. Same thing with the 753, Jeremiah Burke. He makes the pass here on the 33 of Vaught. Oh, as the 753, man, he was pushing it to the limit, breaks those tires loose. Vaught had a chance to maybe make a little bit of a comeback attempt at it, but 753 just carrying all that extra momentum.
Yeah, there's nice little battles all up and down the field. Just kind of got to hunt for them a little bit.
As
33 closing back. Well, he just lost that position to Jeremiah Burke. Oh, and he scrubbed the wall just a little bit. 33 touched the wall just a touch.
Yeah, just enough to start a grass fire around here.
Thank you, Adam Straub. Those are my thoughts exactly.
oh no, as the 753 hits the outside wall hard here. That's going to allow that 33 to get back on around. And man, that 753, he's got a ton of damage.
What in the world happens with the spam?
Well, luckily the filter thing deleted them, so I'm here. I'm reporting them. So
I like spam, but not that kind. You know, the
No,
kind
not
that
that
comes
kind.
in a can.
Yeah.
You put it on the skillet, you fry it, and make a sandwich with some mustard.
eggs.
Oh, that's good too.
As
All right, Vaught's getting after it here now.
yeah, that he is trying to make his way around Poke Salatoni here, putting him a lap down compared to himself. The 92 Greg Klein, because of that kind of battle between Burke and Vaught, as well as the issue that Burke had, kind of slowed these guys up a little bit and allowed Greg Klein to get back into this mix to try to climb up onto a podium spot, as Timothy Pope continues to put the hammer on down, up 5 3/4 seconds on the rest of these guys.
These guys probably can't wait to get another set of tires on this race car, but let's see if they push it. Let's see if we get a couple guys that run a couple more laps than they did the first time, just to try to kind of avoid some of the shenanigans we saw on pit road. When it gets crowded, it gets kind of dangerous down there.
Yeah, that it does, as things are starting to kind of spread out a little bit once again. So let's check in on some other guys and how their race is going. Like the 72 of Chandler Paul, having a so-so night, about right where he started there in 13th, and just kind of cruising along. I really don't see too much damage on that 72 machine. I think he's just one of those guys trying to make it through to the end here tonight.
Harrison hit the wall, and the 76 was trying to get around him, and it's like he might try to still make this pass. 76 had to jerk the wheel, kind of stay off of him.
Side by side they go down that back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. Looks like 76 is going to get that position there as the 244 tucks back into line, cooling those tires off just a little bit. Maybe try to set it up so that way he gets a nice pull here from that 76 coming down this front straightaway.
Yeah, I don't think Harrison's done here with Ottinger there. Good racing up front here. I haven't paid too much attention to what's going on in the back. I might have to take a look back there, but I think we got a post from down in dirty Tennessee. Is that Ricky?
That's
go ahead
Ricky,
and read that
yeah.
one.
He says, Ricky says, my granny used to chop up Spam, mix it with scrambled eggs, make sandwiches out of it. He said, those were good. Now I'm hungry. God, I'm fat. I love Spam and egg sandwich. And to your point, Adam, you can make a BLT sandwich out of it.
Yeah.
If you don't have any bacon, just make Spam, lettuce, and fresh tomatoes out of the garden with some mustard and salt and pepper, or mayo and salt and pepper on there too. And it come out good.
You could put it, make some squirrel gravy and make you a breakfast with some Spam too if you wanted. That'd be real good.
As we take a look here at America's driver, that 2 of Albert Anderson, kind of struggling a little bit here today. Probably not his style of racing. As we're here halfway through this race, expecting to see guys come on down into pit lane here. Albert Anderson, one of those guys, 1 lap down compared to Mr. Timothy Pope. As I say that, here comes Albert down pit lane, and it looks like he's going to get things checked up and no mistakes here.
Well, look, the team points are in effect, and look at Limitless. They're right there in first. They've got 5th, 6th. So there you go. He's got some teammates that are running up there. This is a team deal too, with the team points. So it's all about team consistency, and they've got some guys running up front. Oh, 285, but Dobson kind of got in the grass there for a second.
He may be trying to finish his night early so he can get to bed and head over to Michigan.
As
He's still running pretty well out there.
Yeah, he's right behind that 728 of Timothy Pope. Caught up in a little bit of lap traffic here, but he's still putting down some laps. Both Jim Ott and Dave Hot Rod Mayberry coming on down into pit lane. I was going to say, speaking of Spam, Hot Rod always one to start calling out some good shenanigans that happens in the Discord during the week.
That's why he's the mouth now.
I got to do my homework and go read up.
It gets a little heated, but it's all in good fun, I believe. I mean, it's not like these guys are shooting dice in Waco on a Saturday night. One with a Derringer in his boot and the other with a knife in his hand. It's not that kind of fight. I think it's more relaxed.
No, as Jason Ayrson is trying to hold off that 7 of Russ, the Rocket Man Kilgore. Rocket Man having a pretty good season this year, keeping all 4 tires down there on the racing surface. I don't think we've seen him have anything too calamitous, but we still have, I think, at least 1 more, maybe 2 more plate tracks left here on the schedule. So, who knows?
Including the last one, yeah. I think the last one's at Talladega. That's our championship race.
It definitely could be. As you can see there, Albert Anderson cutting his way back through the field on those fresh tires, trying to make up some ground as Jack the Ripper Dixon and Chandler Paul for the Cult of Chaos team coming on down into pit lane. Same thing with Ottinger, Ayrson, and Kilgore here. They make their break down into pit road. Still a few people out there on track, not pitted yet. Timothy Pope, but he's got like an 11-second lead. He's absolutely gone. Got Jess Vaught and Greg Klein, who were pretty close to each other here. Same thing with Jeremiah Burke, Mike Adamson, and Jonathan Osborne, all yet to come down. I know Poke Salad Tony and David Fight as well, not coming down. And Chad McCabe still out there running, has not come on down into pit lane. As here comes both Vaught and Klein. Both guys really good coming down into pit road here, so no shenanigans this time. Or at least Vaught wasn't, I think, so worried about someone rear-ending him here.
Albert's Pop saying over there on YouTube saying this is not anything could happen. He says, hang in there, son. But the 3 making a move on the 4 here, and the 4 will get out of it and let him around.
Well, that's a good coach right there. And Dad, always positive, man. I like that.
Yeah.
As the 29 of Mayberry makes a pass to get around the 48 of Dixon. Both drivers completing their pit stop, so they're racing for position. Albert Anderson there, he's still kind of sneaking up on these guys, trying to get some laps back here as Adamson and Dion Jones are in and out of the pits here without too much of a problem. Jim Ott rejoins the track here. He's trying to hunt down as much time as he can to close up that gap to Timothy Pope, but Timothy Pope so far out in front, man, he can just sit there, save tires, do whatever he wants, as he's just about lapped this entire field here. He still has yet to come down for that second pit stop here just past halfway.
Well, there's a few reasons not to just quit a race if you're not doing well. I mean, these guys that are running a couple of laps down, all they need, and I'm talking about the Pauls and Chad McCabe and Albert Anderson, all they need is some guys to use that fast repair and then get some additional damage, and they might be out with a busted race car. So, yeah, definitely don't quit. Hang in there and try to make some laps. And also, we're going to have a random draw driver, and you can't win the random draw driver contest if you exit the race early.
Yep, same thing as Timothy Pope and Jeremiah Burke make that break down into pit road. So just a few more guys needing to come on down into pit lane here. As here comes Mike Adamson talking with teammate 285 Greg Dobson. Greg Dobson's going to give Adamson the preferred line here and probably just get out of the way as Adamson on those fresh tires looking to close up some of these gaps.
Hey, Turner, you see what Strom posted there on YouTube?
Yeah,
I never
that.
knew there was such a place. He's telling Ricky, he says, come on up to Minnesota. I'll take you to the Spam Museum. It's about an hour south of me. They have a Spam Museum.
That's one reason to head up there. I'll go ice fishing with you, and we'll head to the Spam Museum. And then, what do they call it up there? Minnesota?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's Canada. I don't know.
Got lots of snow. That's what I've heard Adam say. They got a lot of snow. We got
I bet it's
snow.
perfect right about this time of year as we get a couple more guys coming out.
It gets hot. It gets hot up there too.
Oh, as we're 3 wide here, 753, the 51 in the 222. That was dicey there as two teammates were trying to pass the same guy at the same time. As Team Limitless trying to hunt back down this field, all being led by that 205 of Jim Ott right now. I think Timothy Pope might have spent a little too much time out there on track without pitting. But let's go ahead and take a look at your current field standings.
Ooh, Dobson turned it as he's coming into pit road. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
So he got it straight. Oh, that was funny. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, Brown. I just happened to see it in front of me.
It's all good. Let's watch here at that 285. Just maybe coming in a little too hot. Hits that inside wall. Those brakes, man. If you're not careful on that, applying the brake, the back end breaks loose on you really quick. And I think let's see what happened with Jack the Ripper Dixon back here. Looks like he might have had an issue at some point as well. Getting a little loose through turns 1 and 2. And he does go for a little spin. Keeps it off of any walls. That's actually a pretty good job of it, but he burnt a lot of rubber while trying to do so.
That's exciting, though. Dobson, you're probably going to have to burn a fast repair after that.
Yeah, that's what he said on the radio. He said he thinks he's going to have to use it for sure.
Yeah, he did
He
make...
may have already used it.
Well, every time I see somebody spin here, it reminds me of Danny Sullivan, 1985, when he spun the thing at Indy in the Miller machine, and he ended up winning it. So
He still won the race, yeah.
yeah,
I was going to say, that's starting to ring the bell.
yeah. Yeah, of course they were Indy cars, and
Yeah,
that's
they're
what's
open race.
actually meant to be raced here.
Vaught making a move on a lap car. That's Deion Jones going into turn 1.
As we look through this order, Jim Ott, your current leader, Timothy Pope trying to hunt him back on down. Jess Vaught holding on to that 3rd position right now as Greg Klein is in chase. Jeremiah Burke hanging on to that top 5 right now with Mike Adamson, his teammate, sitting right there behind him. Jeff Ottinger in that 76. We've seen him have some great battles here with Ayrson and Kilgore currently in that 7th spot. Ayrson in 8th and Kilgore 9th. Jonathan Osborne hanging out here in this top 10. Looking good in that green 81 machine here once again. Hot Rod Mayberry in 11th. Chandler Paul in 12th. Deion Jones 13th. With Austin Paul in 14th. Jack the Ripper Dixon in 15th. David Fight 16th. Albert Anderson 17th. Greg Dobson currently scored 18th with Poke Salatoni in 19th. And Chad McCabe in 20th. And the proud thing I get to say, all 20 drivers still out there running. As here we go, battle for the lead. Timothy Pope coming on up to that 205 side by side down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4.
Easily passing the 76. I don't know if they had a deal worked out there or if Ottinger has a problem. The blue 76 machine, the 244 of Erickson, that Haviland Texas machine just went around him like he was standing still.
Well, let's see. Looks like Ayrson got the damage to his car fixed, so he might be running a little quicker than what he was before that last round of pit stops. As the action continues here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a little bit past halfway, so we'd like to thank our sponsors here once again. That would be DND Race Graphics, spelled Grafix. You can find them on Facebook and Trading Paints. That's Mr. Ricky Wittenberg. He does a great job painting these NASCAR style vehicles, as well as maybe some dirt vehicles or really anything with any flat sides, man. He does a great job putting some paints on that Trading Paint software, so go look him up if you've got some stuff that you might want. Same thing with his real life business of Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Give Ricky a call at 423-444-0454. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country, go ahead and give Ricky a call because he will be able to help you out personally or get you in touch with somebody in his great Rolodex of contacts here across the great United States to help you buy or sell that house. And this housing market, guys, it is absolutely insane. Do not do it alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor.
Do you think Ricky still uses a Rolodex, or he just has all his contacts put in Outlook?
Man, I don't know. That man is so busy, he might need a Rolodex.
He might still have a Rolodex. Ricky kind of old school. He might still have
I wasn't going to comment on the man's age, but yeah, we all know how to use the Rolodex. Those are the best things. You just spin it and you get to the number you need.
I had a flat one. You ever seen the flat one where you move the little slider to a letter and then you flip it open?
That was the fancy one. I just had the one where you spun it on the desk and went to the alphabetical order. That's probably worth about 26 now.
It's
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Edith Anderson saying last night with the trucks was amazing. Yeah, we saw some great super speedway racing last night from the HCK Vehicles Racing League. You're going to see exciting super speedway action every Tuesday with that league.
As the 221 of David Fight, both him and Jack the Ripper Dixon in that 48, both were battling a loose race car there. Just I think David having a little better time handling that race car, is able to get back around that 48 machine to jump up there into that top 15. As Chandler Paul, he's got the Ford Deion Jones starting to hunt him down here too.
Thanks to everybody who's watching out there on the stream. We've got some folks watching. Thanks for the thumbs up. We've got some thumbs up on our video. That really does help us get extra exposure and almost 100 subscribers. We got 93 subscribers. So if y'all haven't done so yet, if y'all wouldn't mind, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and That way you can catch all the action from all the leagues.
We already made a deal. If y'all could get us to 100, English is going to send me a case of beer from Louisiana. Yeah, you already made that deal, so go ahead and hit that. Tell your friends. Oh, I want some Louisiana beer.
All right. Sounds good. We do have some good breweries down here.
As I'm now actually going to be able to do something that I've wanted to do just about my entire broadcasting career. And that's create a poll midstream as we got a battle here between the 4 and that 72. And the question of that poll, will we see a late caution? Go ahead and vote your opinion.
Oh,
How'd you do that? That's like magic.
pretty awesome. I didn't know we could vote on stuff. Thanks for the cool surprise.
That's magic. Where'd you come up with that little scam there, Brown? I don't know how you come up with all this stuff.
It's one of those fun things that YouTube is going to allow us to do is interact with you guys even more. Right now, we have the yeses winning at 75% of the vote. People thinking that we will see a late caution here. But go ahead, keep your votes coming in. We'll end this poll here in a couple laps or so as Deion Jones does make his way around that 72. Jack Dixon saying he's dirt tracking it, and yes, he is.
Yeah, I heard some complaints about tires out there on the drivers, but the track is actually cooled down. We started about 102. We're at 88 right now on the track. It's kind of shaded on the front stretch. I don't know if that'll help him out, save tires just a little bit more or not.
I'm kind of torn. I don't know if we'll see a late one or not because these guys are so spread out. There's lots of green flag laps being raced, and there's not a whole lot of racing for position going on out there. It's a lot of people having to deal with lap traffic.
And, you know, we've seen that once before, though, is some people trying to navigate that lap traffic and having issues with that, and that's how some cautions are made. As we finish this poll where the yeses have it at 2/3 of the vote, no at 1/3, so the people thinking we're going to see a late caution here.
Yeah, we got some funny stuff out there with Strom, and Kathy has some questions for you, English. Why don't you knock that out?
Adam Strom saying once the 100 subscribers is hit, English and Turner are going to come up here in January to do ice fishing. So hit the subscribe button. Is he going to pay for us to have a guided ice fishing tour?
Well, he's going to guide us. No, you just come pick me up in your
He's going to say go
Ford.
drive onto that lake and drill
just
a hole in it?
come pick me up. I'm sure gas prices will be down where we can afford to go by then. No problem. We'll be there.
Kathy also saying that looks like a really big track. How long does it take to make one lap around it? Right now, let's see. Well, in qualifying, they were doing it in about 53 seconds flat, and that's 2.5 miles. So you're talking about a pretty high average speed, definitely probably in the 140s. No, probably more than that.
Yeah.
160 probably.
As we took a ride around there with Timothy Pope, you can see him being a real wheelman back there, getting around that 211 of Chad McKay, putting him another lap down. But you could also see his laps, the last few laps, or lap times the last few laps, I should say, around 54 seconds. That's Jack Dixon with a great comment on the YouTube.
Yeah, we'll keep that one off air. Although I think it's great. I mean, why not? It's a PG-13 broadcast.
As the 222 of Tony Polk is hunting down that 285 of Greg Dobson, A little battle here for 19th and 18th. But hey, every position matters, especially for Greg Dobson there. He's on Team Limitless, who are currently holding that team championship lead. And every position does matter.
Adam Strom said he's going to have an ice castle ready for us. What's an ice castle?
Well,
Is
I
that one
think
of the RVs that's
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you get like you load it full of whiskey and beer, and then you fish all the time. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I've done some googling of that.
Mr. Anderson, we're trying to keep the spams blocked, and we're reporting every one of them, so hopefully
The Russians and the Chinese have really got a hold of our interwebs.
somebody, and he says they probably got nothing better to do. Yeah, that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
people try to scam people and stuff
Well,
like
they're
that. Alan
doing a
Kewen's,
good party.
Alan Kewen's out there joining us. What's up, Alan K? Saying, what's up, guys? Let's go. Greg, he's pulling for our buddy out there, Greg Klein.
As we're closing in here on the final 20 laps of this race, people starting to come down to make their final pit stops here. Russ Kilgore, one of those guys. Same thing with Jason Ayerson, that 244 coming on down. Just before that, though, we saw the 2 of Albert Anderson make the pass on that 48 of Jack Dixon here. Moving up this leaderboard, but Jason Ayerson, man, he's got Chandler Paul coming up on him, and just gonna have to wait for this pit cycle to head on around as David Fite in that 221 is coming on down into pit lane. David Fite, albeit having to maybe serve one of those penalties here at the race start, he's done a pretty good job of making up some ground, getting up here into the top 15 until he pitted.
Yeah, I think he had to start from the pits, right? Because of something that happened last week. That's the thing. There's a lot of rules here. You gotta make a mistake and go over some kind of issue, and you may have to start in the back or in the pits the next race. So looks like Odger coming down.
And Jeff Onger, braking really hard there after the cone. Yeah, that one's we're gonna have to see as
I'm watching it.
yes, I think he might have made it just in time down to that 60-mile-an-hour speed limit.
We've seen a lot of tire lockups and several spins going into the pits, but not a single black flag for speeding in the pits, so they're doing something right.
As you can see, Jim Ott here, he came down for his final pit stop, working his way around that 81 Jonathan Osborne on those fresher tires. Timothy Pope continues to lead this race, and we'll have to wait until the end to see what battles we're gonna have going on here. But I think this one might have an anticlimactic finish.
Well, I just saw the 4 and the 244 have some pretty close. I don't know if they made contact or not, but the 4 went flying up towards the outside wall. Kind of crowded there for a second, right there behind Adamson.
Yeah, it's a tight track. There's not much room to maneuver really, so a little bit of bumping is going to happen here when you get close.
Oh, no, it looks like Tony Polk had a connection issue. Hopefully he's able to get back in here.
He was kind of towards the tail end of the field, but he was doing all right. I don't think we saw him have too many issues with his car out there. So hopefully he does end up back out there driving around. Same thing with David Fite. He's been in the pit box for quite a while there himself.
Looks like Klein and Adamson are down to get their... Would this be the money stop there, Brown?
Yeah, this would be that money stop, as it's expected to be our final one of the race. I just kind of watch these guys and how they come out of pit road. Greg Klein with a pretty good pit stop there, a 14.9. Not as good as Jeremiah Burke's 14.7 the last time they came down into pit road, but some of these guys really nailing their pit boxes here. As right now, Timothy Pope, while pitting is underway, has lapped the field up into 5th.
Wow. Man's on a mission.
I mean, who was it this year? Was it Ott who literally lapped the field somewhere here already this season?
Yeah, I believe so. And it was a shorter track, wasn't
Ooh,
it?
48 in the wall. He spun, recovered, and then bounced off the wall. He's down on the apron. Staying green. Single car incident. Yeah, that was the 48 of Jack Dixon.
All right, well,
That's a close call for some cars behind him.
it didn't show up immediately for me, so let's do the old-fashioned just mash that rewind button to see what happened. Yeah, the 48 dirt tracking it. Ooh! The first time avoids the wall. Looked like a drift car, just barely touching that cone, and then the second time he snags that outside wall. But he does eventually get it collected back underneath him here.
Wow, I didn't realize how sideways he was until I saw that view from the front. That was a pretty amazing save. It could have been a lot worse.
You ain't kidding. As Timothy Pope and Jeremiah Burke come on down into pit lane here. Both drivers with a pretty, at least Pope had a pretty good lap time there, 14.8. Got Jim Ott, though. Here he comes, coming right back on around at full speed. Let's see if Timothy Pope can try to maintain that lead as he comes out of the pit lane here. He's going to be dealing with some 33 action of Jess Vaught. Jess has come on down into pit lane. Oh, that might be Hot Rod Mayberry, excuse me. It was Hot Rod that I was seeing. I knew it was a Red Bull car, just couldn't tell you which one.
Yeah, the Vigilante Force guys, you can definitely see them out on the track all running similar paint schemes. I think all the Limitless guys have Limitless Motorsports on the back panel, back bumper panel.
And
Yeah, it's really difficult to kind of figure out who's what and where because they're kind of spread out right now. It's really just kind of single file finishing this thing off.
as we do have a battle here for the lead, though. Jim Ott trying to hold off that 728 of Timothy Pope. He's going to have to try to do it for 14 laps because, man, when Pope's been getting up into that lead spot, man, he's just absolutely got a good breakaway. Chad McCabe comes on down into pit lane, still just kind of sitting there lurking as Timothy Pope right behind that 205, getting right up to that rear end, getting a big-time run, drifting on out to the wall. They're going to be side by side here coming down this front straightaway. You also have Hot Rod Mayberry sitting right there kind of in the middle of the track here as well. That might cause a little pick, but he's still going to be on the outside here of the 205, and for the first time here tonight, we saw a pass being made and completed on that outside.
Yeah, and he has 7-lap newer tires, but I tell you what, Jim Ott did not make it easy. He even pinched him up high. And I think the 728 may have scraped a little clear coat off the right side of that machine, but yeah, able to complete a pass on the outside. That was pretty impressive.
As Jeremiah Burke sets the fastest lap of the race out there. I think he might have just beat Timothy Pope's best time at a 53.02. So Jeremiah Burke looking to try to get back up here, try to finish somewhere near that podium. He's got a lot of work left to do, though.
There we go, putting the mouth Mayberry down a lap once again.
That's going to be hard to keep up with Pope. He's on fire here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes when it's your night, man, it is your night. And it's certainly looking that way for that 728. But that doesn't take anything away from the 205, the 33, or the 92. All three of them have run very good races. The 33 happened to make a great save there on one of those kind of laps near the midway point to kind of stay up here towards the front. Same thing with Jeremiah Burke. He's climbed his way kind of through this field a little bit. Same thing with Mike Adamson. I know right now it's not showing them really gaining that many positions, but all it takes is one screw up. You lose a lot of ground, and you really have to fight your way back through.
Come to 10 to go. This has
Wow.
been a pretty good race. I was kind of skeptical. I didn't think we'd see this much passing and side-by-side stuff, but it's been pretty good race.
It's had its moments, kind of like a Yahtzee game, you know, just back and forth a little bit, but slow and steady for the most part.
As we do have a little battle brewing here for 12th place, driver that I keep meaning to say the name of. I just get him mixed up with his brother, and that's the 3 of Austin Paul. He's got the 4 of Dion Jones starting to kind of try to creep up on him here, but Austin been running a pretty solid race. Kind of quiet night for him here, but you know, track like Indianapolis, quiet nights, they're not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, and look, we know they're a lap down. They are fighting for position, though. Every point, every position matters. Every point matters. This is a points league, and it's a long season. So there's a 15-race season, and when it comes down to it, at the end of the race at Talladega, he might have needed that point. So it's important to them to keep racing hard, even if they're a lap down or more.
Yes, sir, indeed, as we enter in these final 10 laps. We also have a little battle between Kilgore, Mayberry, and Osborne heating up as well for a couple spots inside this top 10. As we do this in the final remaining laps, tell these proud people what they can do here on the YouTube, Mr. English, if they really enjoy watching our stuff.
Well, you can give us a thumbs up on our videos. That's good for our analytics. I think that's what it's called. And then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever we have some of these exciting races, because we're going to be doing several a week here. Don't miss out on any of the racing action here at AAA Broadcasting. Thanks so much to all the viewers that y'all are what make this league possible. So y'all keep supporting your drivers out there and share it with whoever you think might enjoy it.
As Jonathan Osborne cuts and dices his way through some of that traffic, he gets up into that 9th place spot as the 29 of Hot Rod Mayberry makes the pass on the 7 of Kilgore as well to move up into that top 10. But I got a feeling Kilgore might be saving something here for the final remaining laps. You also got Chandler Paul catching up to that 4 of Dion Jones, who's still kind of just maintaining pace here with that 3 of Austin Paul.
Yep, the never quit attitude. I love seeing it out here. I love seeing all the drivers that started this thing are still out there.
Well, except for 2 of them.
Well, Tony Pope got he had a connection issue. That's right.
And still haven't seen him come back to the racetrack yet, though. And David Fite, he's been in that pit lane for quite a while here, so hopefully before the end of this thing, he's able to at least get back on track and be eligible for the random draw here tonight.
He's back in the David Fite is back in the session, but yeah, they're doing some work on that car down there. Well, let's talk a little bit more about next week. We got Michigan Speedway coming up. A couple of the members here are going to go watch the real life race there when NASCAR goes there. But it's a 2-mile tri-oval. It's a lot different than what we're seeing tonight. It's got high banks. It's got a smooth paved surface. Didn't they resurface that? I think it's a newer surface.
Did they?
That new.
Okay, I'm thinking somewhere else.
I know they did Atlanta. Did they?
I'm getting my wires crossed, I think.
Did they do Chicagoland?
I know they took that off the schedule, I think.
Yeah, I think they took it off.
Wow.
They're gonna have a road course race in downtown Chicago. That seems like a lot of fun. Not.
They're gonna have to put some bulletproof glass in the cars and stuff. Or?
Yeah, and it's gonna be a disaster.
Here you go, the number 4 making that move back on the 3 again. These guys are still battling it out. Get the Pauls running the low line or the high line, and Dion Jones trying to get around the 3 here.
Hey, still not quite able to, though. They're going to be side by side drafting down this front straightaway with 6 laps remaining. It looks like Dion will finally just get that move done here. Not quite yet. That 3 of Paul, he's making that middle line really work coming off of these corners here.
I thought he was going to try to cross him over, but it looked like Dion just was in the right spot in the track to kind of block him from coming down and trying that crossover move.
Still fighting it out here, that 4 and the 3. Side by side they go. And the 72 of Chandler Paul sitting right behind this battle as the 4 finally gets clear of that 3 and is able to really extend the track there. But I'm sure that 72 of Chandler was really trying to tell these guys, hey, hurry it on up. I want to pass both of y'all.
Chan the man with that throwback paint. Bobby Allison kind of style Coca-Cola paint. Love the little throwback. Coming down to it. A couple of laps to go here. Have 4 to go. We're going to have 3 to go when we get back around here.
Yes, sir, indeed. Getting on down to it. Greg Klein, he's been having Jeremiah Burke and that 753 kind of creep up in that rearview mirror a little bit here. Gap is just under a second. Will Jeremiah have enough time to try to get around him and end up in a top 4 spot? But right now we got Timothy Pope, Jim Ott, and Jess Vaught all pretty much secure in their positions. A 9.5 second lead for Timothy Pope, and then a 7 and some change lead there for Jim Ott up there in that top couple spots.
It'll be a pretty familiar top 5 or 6 here. All these drivers have been very consistent this season. We've got to talk to all of these guys at least once or twice.
Ooh, Austin Paul got a little bit of loose out of the turn 2. He held on to it. Good looking paint scheme there. True timber number 3.
As we come across the line now with 3 laps to go. Let's see the battle here between the Paul brothers going at it. 72 and the 3. All trying to get to the best position that they can. Of course, both drivers racing for that Cult of Chaos. So really, it doesn't matter if they switch positions for team points. All that matters is that individual points at this point, as Timothy Pope almost loses it coming out of turn number 4.
Well, that'd be interesting if he did.
Yeah. So,
He's still got, almost 10 seconds on second place. It's time to start backing it down maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, he just needs to relax. He could probably walk this thing in almost at this point.
just about as Greg Klein and Jeremiah Burke. This is going to be probably one of the battles to watch here coming towards the final line. Still a good chunk back to Timothy Pope here. It's about 21 seconds from where they are. So just about half a lap difference, as we can see Tim Pope right now running through turns 3 and 4 as we speak. He's going to come on down to take the white flag here at Indianapolis. So to those who said, will we see a late caution? And the answer was no. Congratulations, you guys were correct. We will not see a caution here tonight. Flag to flag racing with the Vigilante Racing League as Timothy Pope makes his way through turns 1 and 2. Final time here down the back straightaway. Just trying to get his 728 machine down into victory lane.
Well, I'm not surprised. I don't know about you, English.
Nope. Actually voted in that poll. I was one of the no's.
Oh, you voted? You can't vote. You're in the booth. That's some kind of infringement on
I'm also watching it on
the
YouTube.
rights of the voters. What
Hey,
are
look.
you doing?
Well, either way, here comes Timothy Pope out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway and across the line to pick up the win here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We also have Jeremiah Burke into the wall. He was getting really close to Greg Klein there, just taking a final little misstep there. So Greg Klein, he is going to be able to make it across the line there in 4th. Jim Ott did get second, and Jess Vaught got third.
Oh, okay. Who got fan of the race there? English and.
That's going to be
that's
Adam
nice.
Strom. Adam Strom's going to be our fan of the race tonight. Congratulations,
Okay, cool.
Adam Strom, for the comments.
We still have
And,
some racing going on here between the 3 and the 4. They're gonna make contact here. Deion Jones and Austin Paul still side by side, smashing each other. Oh my goodness! Chaos ensuing. Oh, and that's gonna catch Timothy Pope. He's already crossed the line to pick up the win, but that's going to affect his car here for the burnouts as everyone tries to get things all straightened out here.
What in the world?
Timothy Pope's gonna come to the line here backwards and smoking.
Oh, we down. Chandler Paul, what, he just tried to smoke everybody to get 12th place?
well, the 3 and the 4 were battling hard, and it looks like as they were spinning, one car went way to the outside. I don't know if he was taking a swing, and Chandler Paul was there and took the brunt of the impact. All 3 of them ended up in a mess.
As Tim Pope tries to get his car spun around there on that tight front straightaway, you can see the the victor of Timothy Pope. I promise you that's not what Timothy Pope's car looked like all race long. Missing the hood. You also have Jim Ont and Jess Vaught, but we also have to do that random draw, and I believe we ended up having 18 vehicles finish this one. So let's go ahead and pop up that. Gotta change this number to 18 finishers. So here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3. It's gonna be the 5th place finisher of Jeremiah Burke, your random draw winner here tonight.
All right. Well, I think I know who's going to win. Deion Jones and Austin Paul. That was a good little battle there that we kind of missed there as at the end of the thing. Maybe they'll be fighting after this one.
Might be. That was pretty contentious there, coming around to the checker flag there.
Yeah, you're definitely not kidding. And well, I thought it was going to be a boring race, but that quickly changed here as drivers were trying to come back across the line. We're going to wait for people to join us here with the drivers here in the podcast waiting room. But still, we saw a pretty good race from some of these guys. Greg Klein with his first official showing here. I know he was out there in the All-Star race, did a pretty good job finishing in 4th. Jason Ayrson was up there at the front for a while as well until he made just a couple little mistakes, and otherwise we still had a pretty good race up there. As we do now have people joining us there in that waiting room, so let us start tonight's interviews underway with Mr. Jess Vaught. We get to speak to that 33 of Jess. Jess looked like it was a kind of just a long, grueling, long green flag run out there tonight, battling some old tires being tight and loose at the same time. Saw you make a tiny little mistake there kind of earlier on, but able to correct for it. But man, it was kind of just a suffer fest out there, I kind of want to say.
Yeah, I basically lost that race whenever I got sideways, that one instant you're talking about. And Jim got under me. I kind of checked up thinking that Jim was going to keep going, but apparently he got loose underneath me. I'm not sure. And so we went from there, but that's whenever Tim got away from us. And then as I came in the pit for the first pit stop, I don't know who it was, but somebody tagged me in the rear end. Kind of threw me off a little bit into overshooting my pit because I'm sitting there going, do I take a fast repair? Do I not? And yeah, it's just one of those, I like to see flag to flag, but this is a grueling track.
Yeah, the level of concentration you have to have and trying to keep track of everything, tire wear and whatnot. Yeah, sometimes the little things is what comes back and gets you. But I was going to tell you, don't feel bad. I don't think we saw a single car out there that wasn't sideways at least part of the time. We saw some great saves out there too. But talk about next week, going back to Michigan. This is a track I don't know anybody that doesn't love racing at Michigan. What can we expect next week?
I doubt that one's going to go flag to flag, so I think you'll expect a little bit more carnage. I think the last time we were there, we had a little bit of anchor if I recall correctly. And but I love Michigan. I think most of the drivers in this league do. I run well there. It's just a matter of how everything falls, if it falls in place or not. But I think you're going to see a more entertaining event. Because I think there's going to be a little more banging.
Oh, it's a great track. I think that, and we got Daytona Road after that. So we have some different things happening. But congratulations, you're on the podium once again. You have everybody you want to thank.
Yeah, as always, thank my wife Lori for everything she does for me and for the league and putting up with this. Drivers of this league, great bunch of guys, and love racing with them. And you guys, as always, for putting on a fantastic show and supporting this league like you do.
Awesome, Jess. Well, again, congratulations on that podium finish here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you race around there at Michigan.
Yeah, buddy, you guys take care.
It was so fast tonight. It's just the little things, man. They just add up.
That they do. Well, let's talk to someone else who was pretty dang fast out there tonight, and that's that 205 of Jim Ott. Just a differential of pit strategies there, but we saw you and Timothy Pope kind of swap positions a few times. But just tell us about the kind of tire situation out there, as it looked like that was kind of the thing, is the people who managed their tires the best ended up with a pretty good finish here tonight.
Yeah, tires are bigger than I thought they'd be. I was just trying to bide my time that first run. We were Jess, myself, and Tim were running nose to tail, and he got a little bit of trouble just there, and we'd lost our momentum to Tim, and he pretty much checked out. But yeah, as far as the tires, I mean, I tried to undercut Tim a couple times because I had about a 4-second, or he had a 4-second gap on me, so. I had to try some different things out tonight, just get some track position and make up some time. And just, I can't complain about second though.
I loved how you were racing him though, when, right there to the outside of you there, and you just pinched him as much as you could without wrecking him. And good on you for doing that. That was so much fun to watch. And hey, you live right down the road from the Speedway there. You going to watch the Michigan race?
Yeah, I do live right down there, and I'll be honest with you guys, I hate sitting in the heat, so we'll see. But it is fun to get sitting out on the deck and listen to the cars. But I try to make it down there, but we'll see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, well, what about Michigan next week here at Vigilante Racing League?
That is my favorite track. I mean, it is my home track. That is my strongest track, so I always have that one circled, and I gotta have something for Tim next week, Jess, all these guys.
Awesome, man. Well, Jim, congratulations. You're definitely making it a habit to end up somewhere in this top 3. It's been great watching you so far this season. Before we let you go, you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, of course, and I know it's redundant, but, this league, I mean, here we went caution-free again, awesome racing. These guys are such a blast to race with, and Lori and Jess, appreciate them. Appreciate your guys' broadcast. It's always enjoyable to watch. And as always, friends and family for watching.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for your time there, Jim, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Michigan.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Man, I almost said tomorrow night. I'd be okay with watching some Michigan tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, in the meantime, let's talk to tonight's random draw driver of the day. That's that 753 of Jeremiah Burke, who did a pretty good job out there today, trying to catch up to Greg Klein on that last lap. Just kind of, we didn't see exactly what happened, but maybe pushing out just a little too far, snagging that outside wall. But you were cutting up and making some moves out there, my friend.
So what that was I was deciding not to wreck Greg at the last minute. I had to move. I was going to try to get to his bumper, and because I couldn't. The arrow was so bad tonight. As soon as you were up under somebody, you couldn't pass them anymore, and that's what happened early on when I got up to second or third. I got behind the lap car and right in front of Jess. My car went up and pounded the wall, and then I was chasing everybody back down for the rest of the race. And it was good racing, but man, the arrow, as soon as you got up under somebody, was so hard to turn.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that. Guys getting air taken off their nose, and just that thing just pushing like a dump truck and burning up that right front. Hey, we've been asking guys about next week, Michigan, but looking even beyond that, right after is Daytona Road Course. You want to give us your thoughts on both of those tracks and maybe some some practice tips for us that might want to do a little bit of racing on that day?
Well, Michigan, I mean, that's where everybody in here cut our teeth. So, I mean, for the most part, the original group of Vigilante Racing League, we all ran Michigan all day long for weeks at a time for the better part of a year. I mean, problem is it's everybody's best track, so it's going to be a good race, great race. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a battle. Daytona Road Course, I've got that one circled. I'm going to turn laps.
I figured you did.
I'm turning laps there already, and it's just, I mean, the biggest key to that is just, I mean, you're braking before the braking markers even start. The slower you go into the corner, the faster you come out in these NASCAR cars, and that's what kind of helps me. You know, I mean, I do good every time we do a road course, and that's my motto is just keep it slow in, fast out. I'll brake 100 yards before the 4 in some of these corners just to make sure I get the car planted, downshifted, turned, and launch again. And hopefully I can pull out a win there for sure. I just got to keep practicing. Hope I can get better than the rest of these guys. But Jess and George Rincon, excellent road course racers. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely looking forward to Daytona Road Course. So.
Well, not a bad night tonight either. And you got the random draw, so... You want to give a shout out to somebody before we let you go?
Shout out to my teammates, Tim, for kicking all of our asses tonight. That was a good one. Mike, Albert, and Greg. It's just great being in chat with all of them. Super supportive. Everybody you get frustrated or whatnot, and they're all in there picking you back up. Me and Albert were cutting up when I was lapping him, and he was swerving down the straightaway, and it's just a blast.
I saw that. I was trying to figure out what that was all about.
Well, I was too. Okay, I was asking him, "What the hell are you doing?" He goes, "I didn't think I was holding you up." I'm like, I don't know. That could have gone bad, but it's just fun. It's great fun in there with everybody, and I mean, I enjoy it. Looking forward to next week, especially this year. We're all running good, so just keep it up.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the random draw and the solid top 5 5th place finish here for you tonight in that 753, and we look forward to seeing some more action from you here next week.
Sounds good. Looks like I'll try being your broadcast booth again next week. We'll give it a shot. Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Well, we go from one limitless driver to the other. The 728 of Mr. Timothy Pope dang near leads the entire thing from the start to the end. Tim, it looks like once when you got out in front and got some clean air, man, you were just absolutely gone.
Yeah, it was. Broke the draft there and pulled on away.
Well, we talked to your teammate just now, and he was telling us a little bit, giving us a little insight into y'all's team communications and how if one of y'all gets frustrated and whatnot, you've got your teammates there to help pick you back up and set you straight and with some positivity and all that. Is that kind of one of the things that really kind of draws people to this league is the team concept? And once you get on a team, I mean, y'all pretty much get along with everybody. Is that kind of what keeps you coming back week after week to come and kick these guys' butts too?
Yeah, they're pretty good, really good teammates. Yeah, they are. I know I posted a few things in Discord about how I didn't feel up racing a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and they tried to pick me up a little bit, but I still set out. Yeah, they're pretty good, and everybody else that races here too. I love racing with them. It's fun, real fun.
Well, you did it again tonight. Another checkered flag victory. Congrats. Next week's Michigan. Your thoughts on that, and anybody you want to thank?
Michigan, I think everybody likes Michigan in this series or this league here, so that's going to be a fun one. Probably some close racing, I expect. And yeah, shout out to Limitless Motorsports, Vigilante, and you guys.
Awesome, Tim. Well, we appreciate you taking the time up here with us, and we look forward to seeing what great racing action you can pull out for us here next week.
Thank you.
I'm sensing a theme here with Michigan. I think everybody looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I got a feeling you may be right there, Mr. English, as we start to wind things down here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Yeah, it was a long one, but these drivers definitely kept us entertained here tonight.
Yeah, we got it done. Indianapolis is in the books. Classic track, different track. A lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to next week.
Yeah, that indeed. So here we go. Let's do our final race rundown here, where your favorite driver finished here tonight. The 728 Timothy Pope picking up the win. I think this is number 3 on the season for Tim. Doing all he can to climb back up that leaderboard. The 205 Jim Ott as well, having another solid night here to finish in second. The 33 at Jess Vaught still continues his podium run here, finishing in third. 92 a Greg Klein, great opening night, finishing in fourth, with Jeremiah Burke being the lucky draw driver of the day and having a solid night there in fifth. The 51 Mike Adamson finishes right where he started there in sixth, but hey, that's always something pretty good, finishing inside this top 10. The 244 Jason Ayrson started off strong, but a few little mistakes there and drifts back down the track a little bit. Ends up here in 7th. Jeff Ottinger driving that 76 machine is going to finish here in 8th with the 81 Jonathan Osborne. We saw him fighting and clawing through some of that traffic as well. He ends up in 9th with Hot Rod the Mouth Mayberry in that 29 machine, rounding out tonight's top 10.
Russ Kilgore in the 7 machine finishes in 11th. 12th will be Chandler Paul in the 72. Deion Jones 13th. Austin Paul 14th. That wad of 3 cars right there all finishing together as they had one heck of a battle there on the last lap. Albert Anderson will finish in 15th place. Greg Dobson, 285, finishes 3 laps down in 16th. Also 3 laps down, Jack Dixon in the 48. He had fighting a loose condition all night. Let's see, 211 of Chad McCabe finishes in 18th place. Tony Polk with some connection issues tonight finishes 19th. David Fight also with some issues out there on the track finishes in 20th place. And Ricky Wittenberg, he did connect before he couldn't anymore, so I think he'll still get a couple of points. I don't know if it'll technically be a start in park or not, but we look forward to seeing him back racing next week.
Yes, sir, indeed. But either way, that concludes tonight's broadcast here from the Vigilante Racing League at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As always, thank you to our great sponsors of D&D Race Graphics. That's graphics spelled Grafix. Go ahead and get yourself a great quality paint done by them. You can go check them out on Facebook and on Trading Paints. Same thing with his real-life business of Keller Williams, Johnson City, Tennessee. It's Mr. Ricky Wittenberg. You can give him a call at 423-444-0454 if you're looking to buy or sell your house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country. Give Ricky a call and he can help you out, because buying or selling the house, man, it's a crazy, crazy business. Don't do it alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor. Well, that concludes our week of broadcasting. We look forward to seeing you guys again here on Monday night as the Numb Thumbs Racing League, I think they're headed to Michigan as well. So we're going to have a week full of great racing there. So tune in to that one, and we look forward to seeing you all back here at the track again, because you all are the reason why we do this, is having fun and getting to talk to all y'all out there in the YouTube land. So we thank you all so much for your support. For Alan English and Adam Turner, I'm Alan Brown, and we're signing off for tonight. Have a great one.
We gone.
See ya.